Hey everybody, this is John Franklin Reviewer and welcome to my channel. Well, before I get to my movie review I want to get to today, I want to actually talk about my previous video that I did called a quick update where I really wasn't doing really well. This was probably close to a month ago I did this here. And I just wanted to say thank you for all the comments and the likes, and I appreciate all the support that people are like, hey, you know what, I like you, I really do like your channel, I like your reviews, please come back if you can. Well, I decided that I'm going to slowly come back here, and especially with the holidays rolling around, you know, got a Thanksgiving rolling around the corner, so why not do a Thanksgiving horror movie review, and then next month for Christmas, hopefully I'll have something good. We'll see on that there. So I just wanted to say thank you guys so much for that. Now, moving on, I'm doing a movie called Home Sweet Home. This movie came out in 1981, and what this is actually about, a mental patient who escapes the hospital. He goes into a wooded area where there's not a whole lot of people. There's like one house or cabin, and he just starts picking people off one by one. Now, what is it that I actually do like about this movie here? Well, the first thing I got to talk about is, and I'm going to try to keep this spoiler free for most of us, but I do want to talk about the very first two deaths. Well, the thing is, the very first one is actually, it starts off maybe about 10 seconds into the movie. You got a guy parked on the side of the road, to be exact, on the middle of the highway. He's drinking some beer, listening to the radio. He actually looks outside of his driver's side window and he sees somebody, but we don't see who it is. And he says, hey, you want a beer? And in 2 seconds, they show who it is. It's almost like a big jump scare. And there's our damn big villain that he just ends up strangling this guy and taking his car. Then we hear on the radio about him being a mental patient, so we get that right off the bat. And not too long after that, he runs over a sweet old lady who drops her groceries on the street on accident, and he's just going after her and her exaggeration of screaming. We never actually see her death, but we see a bunch of blood on the window, and he's just laughing the entire time. And that's one thing I want to jump right into with this villain is, I mean, this guy's kind of a muscular, kind of a Stallone, Schwarzenegger wannabe. And the thing is that he just laughs every time he kills somebody, and he just doesn't care, and that makes this guy very scary. This guy is crazy to boot. I just love this guy. I mean, we have no reason behind this, which is great, and he just goes, kills these people, which we'll get to the characters shortly. But the deaths of these people, I really do like that. I mean, I have to admit, I would say most of the deaths, maybe a good 85-90% of the deaths are really cool. I really do like that. But all I'm going to say about one death, other than the two I just mentioned, somewhere maybe half an hour or so into the movie, let's just say there ends up being something with a guy stealing someone's gas, and then he tries to steal something else, and I think that might be one of my favorite deaths. If you've seen the movie, you understand it, but if you haven't, then no, you don't know what I'm talking about. And now on to the dislikes. Well, the first thing I'm going to talk about are all the rest of the cast minusing the killer. They were all bad. I understand this is a horror movie. This is not going to be The Godfather that I'm watching. None of these characters were very interesting at all. There was no development really for them. It was pretty much, as I mentioned with the story, you get these characters all together in this one area for Thanksgiving dinner, and then all of a sudden, some of them actually have to disappear. And they do explain where they're going to go. Like, 2 women go somewhere, you know, 2 guys go somewhere, but in separate different cars. And it's just like, you really just don't care. It's almost like you just want these people to all die. And almost, in my opinion, almost want the villain to actually win. And it's sad because he's the more interesting character, but then how? Look at like Michael, Freddy, Jason, Chucky, Pinhead. You'd rather see them more than, you know, probably half those characters in those particular movies of the franchises, and that's how I feel with just this one and done movie. But I will mention one character. It's this young kid who has a white face like he's a mime, except he does talk. Not that too much in the first half, but in the second half, he definitely talks a lot. And he has a guitar. He, out of everybody, and there's a lot of bad actors, even maybe worse than this guy, I would still put him as the worst character in this movie. Maybe one reason because he is a cock block, but it's just one of those things where he's just really stupid, and I just don't actually care for him. I did when I watched it last year. I was perfectly fine with it because this is my second time watching it. But then watching it kind of in the critics' eyes, I like, nah, this guy is really, really bad. And it's like, I don't blame people who like, I want to just, break that guitar over your head and kill you. And you get like 1 or 2 characters that say that. The story is very boring, as I just mentioned about just gathering all these people. The story doesn't go anywhere. It definitely needed a lot more better script writing than what we actually got. Okay, and I understand this is 1981, but there is a lot that I could say about this when it comes to directing in the 80s and all that. But this has got to be, in my opinion, one of the biggest sins when it comes to directing, and that's amateur directing. Yes, I've seen a lot of bad movies, probably as bad as this, but some of them I'd rather sit down and watch those ones over this one. And the final dislike I gotta say is that when they do film at night, it's very little or no lighting at all. Like, it could be pitch black, and that's what you see. Like, for an example, you might get the bad guy who actually is chasing these 2 women. Actually kills one of them, which was one of the ones that was just okay. I thought maybe her death could have been a lot better, but leave it as it is. But then you have the other woman who is running away from the camera, away from her villain, but you don't see her, but you hear her screaming, and the only way you know it's him, that he's laughing, crazily as he should be going. It's like one of those things where it's like, I have to try to see the people, appreciate it, not just, hey, pitch black out here, let's just film the best way we can. And it sucks, and I hated that. So for me, for Home Sweet Home, I gotta go 1 out of 4 stars. But I am going to go 50-50 on this here, where I'm going to say if you are a horror fan, I'd say check this out if you still haven't, just to at least experience it. Maybe you might like it better than me. You never know. But if you're just one of those occasional horror fans, then I would say no, don't actually see it. But Home Sweet Home 1981, if you have seen this movie, give me a comment down below. I'd be kind of curious what you really thought about it. And thank you guys so much for checking out this video. I'll check you in the next one. Bye.